I'm thinking of putting up a spoiler tag because I want to give my full thoughts on the movie and not worry about, what I'm going to say that might spoil the ending or anything in the movie. But to be fair, the story is 3,000 years old. So if you haven't read it, it's kind of on you. Homer's The Odyssey, brought to you by Christopher Nolan, is a statement that just rolls off the tongue, so eloquent, so natural. And that's because this is a story that Christopher Nolan has been wanting to tell for such a long time. For one reason or another, it just never worked out, and he just hasn't gotten his grand historical epic on the big screen. But now he did with The Odyssey. This film stars everybody and their aunt in Hollywood. It stars Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, John Bernthal, Charlize Theron, Elliot Page, Himesh Patel, Mia Goth, John Leguizamo. I feel like I would have a longer time naming the actors that aren't in this movie than I were the actors that are. And it's been said in interviews, every actor wants to work with Christopher Nolan because he has this gift as a filmmaker to bring out career best performances out of the actors that he chooses. And that's well said in this movie. Almost every actor here gives a career defining performance that I didn't know was possible out of these actors. John Leguizamo, Himesh Patel, and Tom Holland specifically, they have different levels of how long they're in the movie and how important their characters are to the story. But yet each one of these actors give great performances that I didn't know they were capable of. I've always known John Leguizamo as like the comedic type. He's in one of my favorite movies, Chef. He's in John Wick. That's what I know him from. I know him from Super Mario Bros. But here he plays Odysseus's right hand man, and it's just so well acted. Himesh Patel plays his general, his second in command, while he's out fighting the Trojan War. Again, I didn't know Himesh Patel could do that. What he did on the big screen, I've only known him from Yesterday and Tenet, but here it's just something else. And Tom Holland, I've known him from Uncharted, Spider-Man, and there's a level of acting that it takes to do a big blockbuster. It's not that you necessarily have to try too hard. You just have to be believable enough. And that's what he's given. But here, he gives a career best. It really is just wow what he does in The Odyssey. I'm just going to be talking non-stop praises about this movie for the entire review. So if you don't want to hear that, go ahead and end it here. If you know the story of The Odyssey, if you don't know the story of The Odyssey, it's been out for 3,000 years. At that point, it's on you. If you don't want to get spoiled, go ahead and pause the video here and then come back after you've seen it. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. But I'm going to be talking heavy spoilers about this movie. The Odyssey follows Odysseus as he tries to get back home to his wife and son after the Trojan War, but in defying the gods on the way there, he elongates his trip without trying, and what's supposed to be just fought war won and then go back home, it becomes this whole long perilous journey where he learns important lessons about humanity, about war, about what war does to people and what it takes away from them. And it's such a well told story and adaptation. It's pretty faithful to the book. Small changes here and there, but nothing too big. The Odyssey is just such a well told story that its themes, are still pretty important nowadays. You can still feel them in our everyday movies, TV shows. You can feel the impact that story had and the influence that it had on storytelling that we get nowadays. And everyone gives such a well acted performance. Everyone acts their heart out. Like I said, I have to shout out those actors, but everyone does such a great job. Matt Damon, I didn't think I was going to like him as Odysseus. When I heard that he was cast, I kind of felt like Christian Bale would have been a better choice, but then again, that's what I had in my head as Odysseus, not what Matt Damon brought to the table with Odysseus. He acts it so well. Robert Pattinson, he plays the annoying, spoiled brat so well that you can't trust. The coward, down to a T. Great job with that. Zendaya playing Athena, great choice. And then the revelation at the end where, we see that she was a girl that was murdered back in Troy, and the impact that it's had on Odysseus, just so well told. Everything about this movie, it just felt so grand, epic scale. There were so many shots I didn't know how they could do without CGI or VFX. I'm sure they have some sort of, methods and maneuvers that they made work, but it just looks so beautiful. You have to see this movie in 70 millimeter and IMAX, even on the XL screen, Dolby, anything that's not just your regular movie screen. Because this movie was made for the biggest screen possible, the most beautiful screen. In the past, Christopher Nolan movies have had trouble with the sound. I know in Tenet, you couldn't really understand everything that was said. That's not really an issue here, at least it wasn't in my theater. I saw this on an XL screen because all the IMAX were sold out, and they probably will be for a while, but I'm going to try to get to an IMAX to see this again very soon. But in my theater, the sound was fine, the lighting was fine, everything. I didn't have an issue understanding anything that was happening on screen, even the nighttime scenes. Everything was just so well done. Christopher Nolan is just that well of a technical director also with when he wants to world build. This movie is kind of grounded in realism, but there's so much magic going on that it still feels normal. And even the Cyclops in the cave, the witch, and the pigs, everything felt so natural. Like we knew when the supernatural was among us, and you could feel it creeping up on you, and you could feel the tone shift, but yet it still felt like it was a realistic part of this world. I know there were a lot of complaints about the accents too, that they weren't British. If this was going to be a faithful adaptation, it would have been in Greek. Like, it's not a big deal. The daddy thing took me out a little bit when Tom Holland said daddy, or Robert Pattinson said daddy, and Tom Holland kept saying mom and dad. That took me out a little bit, but it's no less historically accurate than having British actors, say mother and father on the in that dialogue. It didn't bother me really, and it just took a while to get used to it. But even with the controversy surrounding that, and Elliot Page and Lupita Nyong'o being casted, they did so well in their parts that it really didn't matter to me who was cast. They both did excellent jobs. Elliot Page especially, I gotta shout him out. The role that he played, everyone thought he was playing Achilles. He didn't. The role that he played, though, just tugged at my heartstrings, and he did such a well job in the little bit of time that he got. Everyone here killed it. The last part of the movie was my favorite because it was just so satisfying seeing Odysseus come home and take care of business. Like, I just love the movie. I really did. I'm going to go see it 2 or 3 more times in the best format that I can. I recommend you do the same. That's it for this video. Just wanted to compliment the film and Christopher Nolan. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.